Republicans in Congress could take a vote this week to take away from Trump the power to impose these tariffs that are hurting you and hurting our economy. But instead, they're going to do the opposite. They're going to make the economy for the middle class worse this week. Because this week, they're going to vote in the House of Representatives to advance a bill that will destroy the Medicaid program.
So in the short term, you're going to have less access to the goods that you need, and they're going to be more expensive, and your business is going to find it harder to get parts. Well, if you manufacture, I mentioned steel and aluminum. Most things that are manufactured in this country use steel and aluminum. If steel and aluminum is more expensive, the cost of your manufacturing goes up. Building housing. We get 75% of our drywall from Mexico. That price is going to go up. So the price of the materials that are necessary to build things go up.
Here's a live look right now at the big board where you can see the Dow Jones is now down about 700 points. The market had a sudden reversal and turned positive for a very short time, but has been all over the place this morning. ABC's Perry Russum has the details from Washington.
This morning, investors bracing for another day of massive sell-offs as President Trump's tariffs head into their first full week.
Yes, the main strategy is lawsuits, and they have been filed in a wide variety of different areas. And yes, many of the people who have been impacted by this are private sector workers. Grants that have been frozen in a variety of different areas, in many cases, are contracts that private sector workers have. Also, as you've mentioned, the president is not supportive of the National Labor Relations Board enforcing laws that protect workers, but those laws are on the books. So where they are not being used, you can file lawsuits and have the court enforce them.
Democratic state lawmakers, Congressman Johnny Olszewski, Senator Chris Van Hollen, and Congressman Kweisi Mfume spoke during the rally, opposing actions from the Trump administration and sending their own messages to the president.
Congress cannot do this alone. The courts cannot stand alone. We need every voice, every vote, every ounce of energy. We need all of you to continue to stand up and to resist this ridiculous bullshit.
And the number one concern was the cost of living, primarily food and groceries, childcare and housing. We talked about the lack of healthcare access in our district. 60.4% of children rely on Medicaid. 42% of the entire population relies on Medicaid. So what that would mean for their financial security, for their ability to stay healthy, go to school, go to work, and bring home an income.
As an OBGYN who has spent my life caring for women and delivering babies, let me tell you, it is unconscionable to threaten the care women receive before, during, and after pregnancy. But that's exactly what the Republican majority is doing with their budget. Republicans are choosing to shut down more hospitals and clinics across the country. Republicans are choosing to make even more of our country maternal care deserts. Republicans are choosing to take health care away from moms and babies.
And let's be crystal clear what this Supreme Court case really is about. It is a backdoor trick to shut down healthcare centers, attack and abandon the most already underrepresented and underserved Americans, and cut off people's access to essential healthcare. It is a direct threat to millions of Americans' ability to get their cancer screenings, their birth control, their basic reproductive health care.
So when we talk about cuts to education, to the education department, we're talking about cuts to low-income schools, students with disabilities, and critical programs that states simply can't support alone. The Pennsylvania Constitution explicitly guarantees a thorough and efficient system for public education for every child. Dismantling the United States Department of Education will hurt this promise to our children.
But when that rug is pulled out from under people, I worry that people will go, to the private sector. I worry that these national assets, our timberlands, will be so devalued by this kind of corrosive policy that, we're going to sell public water systems to Nestle? Is that a good deal for us? It's not.
So in 80 days, that's what's happened? Has illegal migration gone down?
By
By most estimates, about 97%.
So dramatically, like a collapse, not even a reduction, but a collapse.
That's right, sir.
And what's changed? I mean, when you look at the last 4 years and some of the record profits that the cartels were making, in fact, in December of 2023, I believe the number was about 304,000 illegal encounters in 1 month. What were the encounters in February of this year?
They dropped down from about 6,000 a day to somewhere around 100 to 150 a day on average.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was about 8,300, or give or take, in February.
Total?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So December 2023 would be 3,800% higher than February 25.
It's been dramatic, the
Or put
decrease.
it your way, 97% reduction.
Yes, sir.